Hey guys, Metroid here. Welcome to my first deck profile on the channel. This is my beautiful Token Ranbu Online deck. This will be outdated soon, but if you want to build it, by all means. It's not a guaranteed tournament winner, but it can push third, maybe second if you're lucky, but it depends on how your deck plays. So to start off with, we have Yamanabagiri Kunihiro. A decent starter. It's counter plus 1. When it boosts a unit with the Homer skill, I'll explain the skills as we go through, you add 3,000 to the boosted unit, and at the end of battle, the unit boosted, you soul charge it, choose a rearguard, and it gets another 5,000 power. So it's a decent starter for the Homer series, so quite an early powerhouse, and it's good to go. Grade 3s. So we run 4 of the main, Tsumumaru Kunanagi. So his first skill is a Homer skill. Homer is the on-hit skill. There's another one in this called Shinken Hensetsu. So Homer on-hit, Shinken Hensetsu is like a limit break. But anyway, it's Soul Blast 1. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, countercharge 1 damage and put a grade 3 from the drop zone back into your hand. It's great if you're struggling to stride. And then the second skill is during the turn when your G unit strides, you soul charge 1 card, choose 2 units, and they gain 3,000 power. This makes a great main for the deck as of now. It gets a card in the soul blast if you're struggling, but it gets you there. So the next one out, the one I like to call Sephiroth. Wait, do I only have one of him? Oh god, I do. This would be run at 2, but in place I've got Tsumumaru, but there should be 2. Tsumumaru. Tsumumaru is a non-stride skilly one, and this deck isn't actually GB reliant yet. So it's Tsumumaru again is Homer. It's Soul Blast 1. When he hits, you do an Amaterasu. You look at the top card and choose if it stays on top or goes to the bottom. And then the second skill is Counter Plus 1. When a rearguard with the Homer ability attacks, you add 3,000 power to it at the end of turn. So not a bad alternate ride. It's still 11,000 power as well, which is what you want to aim for these days, really. So next up, we have the Silent Tom of the deck, Tombo Kiri. So this is the first Shinken Hensetsu unit. So Shinken Hensetsu kicks in when you're at 1, 2, 3 damage. It's basically limit break, but only at 3 damage. So Tombo Kiri's Shinken Hensetsu skill is Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, this gets 2,000 until the end of turn permanently. So you can stack defense on this guy. The second skill is Vanguard only as well, sadly. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, until end of battle, your opponent cannot call grade 0s to the Guardian Circle. So it's a Silent Tom on the Vanguard. Another alternate good ride, and it can stop grade 0s. Next up is the grade 2s. So we're going to start off with Dozukuni Masakuni, the 9 to 12k, which is a Shinken Hensetsu unit, 9k base. And obviously, Shinken Hensetsu, when this unit attacks, plus 3,000 power. So, generally, you run this at 4 for now, because it's one of the best units to attack with. Now, the next one, you only run at 1. Heheshiki Hasib, a very deadly Homer unit. When the attack hits the Vanguard, Counter Blast 1, add 2,000 power, restand it from attack position, and it can attack anything in the rearguard. So if your opponent's got a deadly starter, say, what's deadly? Harbinger Draco Kid. If they've got that, this guy can take him out at 11,000 power, and if you pull stand triggers, which you're supposed to run in Token Ranbu, stand him again. Take another back row rearguard out. Just constantly mill the rearguards off. You only run it at 1 though. You don't want to main Homer in the deck, or it's going to seriously hinder how the deck works, because Homer is once per turn as well. So you can only use 1 Homer per turn. Shinken Hensetsu is like, it's active all the time. But Homer is once per turn. So next up, we have my personal favourite and the powerhouse unit, Shio. So Shio is a fantastic Shinken Hensetsu unit. 7k body, I will not lie to you, that's a painful ride. But it's a fantastic rearguard. It's Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, discard 1 card from hand, you draw 2 free cards when this unit attacks. So if you've done your triple drive, and you've got something you didn't need, so say, for example, a draw trigger, a 5k shield, ditch it, and draw 2 and hope for better. Whoopsie daisy. And then its second skill is Rearguard. This unit cannot be chosen by the effect of your opponent's cards. this can't be locked, vanished, deleted, or bound while it's on the rear guard. Nor can it be retired. It's immune to everything. Well, unless you've got a unit behind it and someone uses Big Crunch Dragon, then you've got a problem. So I tend to keep Shio on his own if I'm against someone like that. So next in the grade 2 lineup we have, oh god, Nagitsune. Another Homer grade 2. It's a 9k base body. When he hits, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, you draw a card. And then, if you want to, you can call another unit to the rearguard circle. So for example, say I've got him there, and I pull, I don't know, say I draw into Dodoku Mitsusada, and I need another unit out for another attack. Boom. Free attacker. It's rearguard only, but it's a great early pressure, because Homer can be activated from the get-go. Shinken, obviously, you have to wait, but Homer makes the MVP of the deck. And then to finish off the grade 2s, we have Izumi no Kami Kenisada, another Shinken Hensetsu unit. This is Soul Blast 1. Upon the boost of this unit, it gets 3000 power. At the end of the boost, you may choose one of your rearguards with the Shinken Hensetsu unit in the back row. You'll see why in a minute. Bounce it back to your hand. So you get a Guardian back at the sacrifice of its boost later. A decent unit, and it's great, especially when you know what your opponent's got. Now we come to the grade 1s, the bulk of the deck. So here we have 4 Kotu Samonji, the only perfect guard in the set. There is a quintet wall, but we don't need that yet. So obviously it's generic. When it's placed on Guardian Circle, it guards the Vanguard only, and it countercharges 1. Obviously run that at 4. Next up is one of the Shinken Hensetsu grade 1s I just mentioned. Horikawa Kunihiro. 7k body, and one of the units that you should really be bouncing back. So he's Shinken Hensetsu, Counterblast 1. So when this unit's placed on rearguard, Soul Charge the top card of your deck, and add 4000 power. He's an 11k booster for 1 turn, but if he's behind Dodoku Mitsusada, it's a 21k column. Sorry, 23k, I'm being stupid. So, a great one, you only run it at 3 though. Next up is the next MVP, especially if you've got the field, Nakari Ao. So he is another 7k body. This is the ride I aim for mainly, because he's good, but I rarely sit on grade 3. It's like once in a blue moon, if I can't stride, I will sit on Tsumumaru. So his skill is Shinken Hensetsu, so 3 damage. Put this unit into your soul. When a grade 3 or less Vanguard attacks, if you have 3 or more other rearguards, this is the original print, it's just 3 or more. The errata is 3 or more other rearguards at rest. You may pay the cost. If you do, Soul Charge this unit, choose your Vanguard, and it gains a free 10,000 power. So if I'm stuck on Tsumumaru, I can't stride. Get all my rearguard attacks out. Swing with Tsumumaru, Skill Act kicks in, Soul Charge it, he's a 21k body, plus whatever's boosted. So you only run the Nakari Ao at 3, and a very, very powerful unit. Now, this is the prime unit of the deck, and it's stupidly expensive. Imo Gotsunuro, the stride fodder. It's not Homer, but it gives a Homer skill. So his act is, put this unit into the soul. Choose one of your grade 4 or greater units, so there's probably more than just grade 4 coming out soon. It gets 5000 power and auto Vanguard Circle, Homer. Soul Blast 1. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, countercharge 2 cards. Major pressure. And then, of course, when it's in your hand, it counts as stride fodder. So, brilliant. Now we come to the triggers. Pardon the loud snoozing in the background. So, obviously, 4 Gotoku as generic heals. So, we've got the 4 generic heals there. Oops, sorry. Next, we play 4 copies of Shokudokiri Mitsusada. This is the double rare crit, and the only double rare crit in the set. His skill, put this into your soul. When your Vanguard attacks, if this unit is standing, so it has to be standing, it's not like others, and this can be activated at any time. Soul Charge the unit, draw 1 card, and choose 2 units in the front row, and they get 3000 power apiece. So you could pick the Vanguard and another rearguard. It literally just fills up your rearguard columns with power. So it's decent. For my 2 generic crits I've put in this deck, I picked Jaeger Toshiro, so part of the Toshiro build. Next is one of the biggest MVPs of the Token Ranbu deck. This is Aizen Kunitoshi. This is the biggest MVP of the deck, especially when you're sitting on strides. Once per turn, when your Vanguard attacks, if this unit's in the back row, stand it. Then if your Vanguard, that's grade 4 or greater, has Homer abilities. So, for example, I'll show you when it comes to strides. So that stride fodder gives Homer. If you're on a Vanguard that doesn't have Homer and you give it to it, the second half of the skill kicks in. If this is in the back row, and say Tsumumaru's in the front row and they're both rested, my grade 4's just attacked. His skill kicks in. Stand up. Second half of skill, because my Vanguard has Homer, stand the unit in front. It resets a column. And that is one of the deadliest mechanics that this deck has so far, is it can reset a column. But this can only do its skill once per turn. To rear guards only. And for the last 2 cards in the main deck, we have 2 Atika Toshiro. So 2 draw triggers, just for the extra draw effect. So the deck, so far, can play Oracle Think Tank, Kagero, sorry. So Jaren, Kagero. It can literally fill the soul up, so it's the Dark Irregular's Pale Moon deck. It's Soul Blasts, Genesis, and it makes power columns so far. So we're looking at Raw Paladins as well. But we're not done there. Now we come to the main segment, the strides. So this is my stride lineup for now. Obviously, once the new set comes out, we're going to have a lot more to work with. I've already pre-built the deck on my PC. It's all written down, all ready to go. It won't be aired until after Nationals next year. So first off, we run 2 Mitsukuki Manichika, the Generation Rare. This has won me so many damn games because I've always got him off. So his skill is, once per turn, you counterblast 1 during the main phase, flip any G unit face up. This unit gets 3,000 power for every G unit face up. For every 2 face up G units, retire an opponent's rear guard. So on your second to third stride, you can take out your opponent's intercepts. We're not done with the skill. If there's 2 G units face up, it also goes critical. So this adds in Narukami. And what else? What gained a crit, usually? But anyway, it adds a Narukami effect into this. It takes out the front row before the attack. So I'm only running 2 of him. And that's going to stay like that. Next, just because it's a Shinken unit as well, we're running 2 Tarotachi. We don't have his brother Jirotachi in the deck, so ignore the second half of the skill, but I'll explain it all. So during your turn, all of your rear guards with the Shinken Hensetsu ability in the front row gain 3,000 power. So, can make some nasty columns. Now, if I had Jirotachi in the soul as the stride bit, Tarotachi would gain a further 5k. It'd be 31 on its own. But we don't. This is just here for our first stride. If my opponent doesn't call out rear guards, you'll see why in a second. Tarotachi makes a great first stride, and he's there for the extra power as well. Next is the life of me, which destroys everybody's front row and really pisses them off. Iwatushi. I only run this at 2 because I only ever need to pull it off once. His skill is Counterblast 1, Persona Flip. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets continuous Vanguard Circle. This unit battles all of your opponent's units in the front row. Another Narukami mechanic, but this is when it attacks. So in other words, they have the potential to guard the rear guards and the Vanguard, but they're going to blitz their hand out. Fantastic as a first stride. If you've got someone who's rushing you, you can go, fine, Iwatushi, skill, let's flip another copy up. Your entire rush field gets destroyed in seconds. A great first stride or a great late game stride, depending on what your opponent's using. Next is the life of the deck. The main man himself, Hotarumaru. And yes, that is an SP signed copy there. Hence the same you saw with Shio in the main deck. So, Hotarumaru, a Homer stride. The main mechanic to the deck. Sorry, my joystick only fell in. So, you're wondering, what does Hotarumaru do? Well, for Homer, It's a balanced skill, but it's a serious risk to play. So, you need a full field as well. I'm not going to lie. You need 5 rear guards for his skill to kick off. It's when this attack hits, persona flip a copy. Choose 5 rear guards, rest the entire lot. Stand Hotarumaru back up with -2 drives. It's a single drive check, so you go into a triple, into a 4. It's a quad drive. Now, I find a really nice combination with this is you swing with him first. You have 2 Aizens here behind some high-powered rear guards like Dodoku. Hotarumaru hits. Rest every rear guard. Stand him up. Hotarumaru attacks. Aizen's skill. Stand him up. Units in front stand because it's a grade 4 Homer. It resets columns. And you get 4 drive checks with this at the same time. And I tell you what, he saved my skin so many times on a first stride. Because my opponent's like, what do I do? I've got 2 Vanguard attacks coming. One's a triple, one's a single. What do I do? And then, of course, generic these days to beat rushes, which is getting a reprint as well, because of 7 Cs, Air Elemental Sabreeze. So Sabreeze is obviously Counterboss 2, discard a card, put this unit on your Vanguard circle from the G zone if your opponent's grade 2. The reprint, however, is being made to design 7 Cs because I've noticed there's been a lot of 7 Cs players who, I might add, sit at grade 1 and get grade 2s and 3s out without riding up. So the new Seabreeze that comes out in the next Fights collection counters anyone that rushes at grade 1. So you only run 1 Seabreeze because you don't want to blast your deck too heavy. Next are the G guards. Token Ranbu don't have generation guards. Not until the next set, which is Toku. So for now we're running 2 Metal Elemental Screwy. So obviously, when it's placed on Guardian Circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, discard 1 card from hand to add 10,000 to his shield. Very good, very sturdy. And then, of course, 1 Dark Elemental Dismal, just to counter those Narukami attacks that, when it hits, retire a unit. Hold on a minute. Oh, it wouldn't stop Big Crunch. Oh, boo-hoo. That's fine, though. I don't care. But yeah, that is my Homer Shinken deck for Token Ranbu Online. This is finished, but it's not, because of the new set coming out soon. We have more units on their way out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope to see you all in another video. Maybe another deck profile when this deck in here is finished. No one's going to know yet. Or maybe when this certain deck is built. Or when the update for this is done. Until then, I will see you all in my next video. Until then, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.